Welcome to the Jointery podcast, a podcast where we study the lives of study the lives of two dads trying to find the balance between the families, hobbies, and work. This week on the Jointery, we discover.
He was like, I don't know how to approach this guy and tell him I just like his work. So he came up with, can you ship me a cat house to Turkey?
Let's search for the meaning of life as it had never been witnessed before. The Jointery podcast.
So, you know how I said like Jackie doesn't listen to the podcast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife Jackie. So, I'm walking into the office and I look at her and I go, yeah, I'm gonna go do the podcast with Ben. She just looks at me. She goes, all right, have fun. She goes, balls, balls, balls. And I looked at her and like, so she doesn't listen to the podcast, but her hearing is really good, so she still hears like half of the podcast, right? Like my half. So,
but she got she got your outro line. She nailed it. That's hilarious. So she knows it so well.
And we love that show, the Wipeout show. So, like, you know, like I say it to her around the house every once in a while, and she's like, "Oh, damn it!" I'm like, "Balls, balls, balls."
You say I fucking love it that she fucking is like just not listening, but listening. You know what I mean? She's paying attention.
Do you do little things to fuck with your wife? Like not mean stuff, but just like playful fuck with the wife.
Yeah. I mean, me and her like to yes, we do. We do it to each other though. Like, you know, but I'm trying to think of anything I do to provoke her, like off the top of my head. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I know she likes to. Why do you guys do stuff like that?
I mean, obviously it's more of a one-sided street. Like my wife does fuck with me, but like it's so rare when she does that. Like I usually get like upset when she does it because I'm like if you did it all the time, like I would be used to it. But like
you take it the wrong way.
Yeah, sometimes. But I fuck with her a lot. So like two of the things I do to her, which I think they're both so like I like taking advantage of her when she's either distracted or like really too tired, right? Is what I like screwing with her, right? So like if she's like making food and both her hands are dirty, I like coming up behind her and like start tickling her and stuff like that because I know she can't do anything about it. Like I do stuff like that to her. But two of my favorite things I do to her is one is like every night we're watching TV and she passes out before I do, you know?
Yeah.
And so she passes out and when it's like around midnight, I'll turn the TV off and I'm like, all right, it's time for bed. But sometimes I'll be like, babe. She'll be like, what? She like jumps up and like an alarm, and I'll be like, it's 5 a.m, right? And she's like, what? Like I've been on the couch all night. I'm like, yeah, like you should probably go upstairs. And then she'll be like, oh, and she'll like pick up her phone and she'll be like, you asshole, it's midnight. Like, so I do that.
So how many times has she fallen for that? Because I assume
I don't do it all the time, but I do it.
Yeah.
Like once, maybe every other month, you know. I don't like to do it so often she'd expect it, but like she falls for it like 90% of the time. So
it's just mean.
Well, and then the other thing that now this is the other one I do that I do this to her almost like I'd say at least 3 nights a week is like we're going to bed, you know, and we have a light in our bedroom that is a smart light, right? So I tell Google to turn it off, right? But Google just doesn't understand us most of the time, right? So you'll ask it to turn it off, and then it won't turn it off, but Google's still listening, right? And before she has a chance to say, hey, turn off the light again, I'll say, tell a joke, right? And then Google goes into like a minute-long stupid joke, and she is like laying there just waiting for this dumbass joke to finish. And
my God.
So she could tell it to turn off the light. She's like, stop it. She's like, you gotta stop doing this.
Oh, dude, that is classic. That is classic. I don't have a Google thing in my room though, but I would totally do that. That is fucking hilarious.
Google's listening to everything that happens in my room. So
that's a little scary.
It is scary, you know. I mean, we have some serious conversations in there. You know, we occasionally, on a rare occasion, do things in there. You know,
Oh man, that's so funny.
I don't
I was talking to Matthew the other day, our patron from the Wooden Mustache, and he was saying Matthew Mustache. He was telling me a story, but then he mentioned that his wife's name is Jackie as well. Did you know that?
I did not know that. He's. Remember how we were talking like last week, where I'm like, well, once I decide I like somebody, I stop asking them questions about their life.
Yeah,
that's with him. That was exactly how it went. So no, I do not. I did not. I've seen like his wife, like his wife is in his videos about as much as my wife's is in mine. You know?
Yeah. No, I just thought it was funny. I was just like, wow. And I asked him the same thing. Well, did you know? I'm like, that's just a funny coincidence. You guys are both Jackie wives.
Yep. But I don't know. That's the way I am generally, though. If I like somebody and I talk to them on a regular basis, I can't not fuck with them regularly. Like I love fucking with people. Yeah. So I know I fuck with you constantly. So.
Oh yeah, you think? I'm making a stool. I'm making a stool right now that I wasn't planning on making because of you.
You know, you're not making a stool. You're making a man happy, and that's what's really important here, Ben.
That's true.
You're pleasing Bryce.
That's very true. I'm pleasing Bryce. I think you're getting the most enjoyment out of it.
Oh, without a doubt. But you told me that he's coming over to bring shit to your house. I was like, fuck yes.
Dude, okay, so that leads me to
I hope he stays too long.
No, he came over. So he came over on, I forget what it was, Monday or something like that. And he brought the plywood and he brought the templates for the stool that we're making. And he brought his dog, Nanu, and which is great because my dog, Harley and Nanu, like they like to run around together. The last time they came, they went crazy. So he brought Nanu again, and which is fine. You know, I'm totally good with dogs. You know what I mean? Like other people's dogs, especially like when they play with my dog. So we and Bryce start getting into it. Right, we're working on the stool, and we're routing. We're cutting templates with the bandsaw, and we're and he walks over to my bandsaw, right, and he gets the template. And he fucking, first off, do you ever have makers at your shop, other makers that are, do work on your tools?
Not generally. Rarely I do. I would like to, but rarely I do.
I have anxiety over that. Like when I have like other makers here at my shop who are going to be using my tools for any reason, like it gives me like complete anxiety of like, oh my God, is my tool set up correctly? Are they going to make a cut and it's going to fuck up their piece? You know what I mean? Like I have complete anxiety about that.
You have imposter syndrome over people using your tools? Like maybe they're going to find out you don't really know anything about woodworking?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think I have a pretty good idea of what I'm doing, but still, it's like I always have that thought in my head that like somebody's gonna come over and like, okay, so Bryce comes over, he fucking start.
You should not have told me that, bro. You should not have told me that.
We start
because I'm gonna like the second I go to your shop, first thing I'm gonna do is be like, hey Ben, your table saw blade's backwards? It like. I'm gonna give you so much anxiety about this.
No, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about you. We're talking about real makers. I'm talking about real makers.
Oh, fine, fair. That's fair. Like Bryce,
no, but
the real maker, Bryce. Got it.
Yeah, Bryce. So he comes over. We get the templates all like ready to go, and we're going to make our first cut on the bandsaw. And he fucking goes over, turns it on. Oh, it sounds pretty good, he says. And then he sets the piece of wood down and he starts cutting through the plywood. And like within like 30 seconds, he looks over at me and goes, man, I thought my bandsaw was a piece of shit.
Is this the little one or the big one?
The little one. The central machineries one from. And I'm like, look, dude, it's a Harbor Freight bandsaw. I'm like, it's not the nicest bandsaw. But he was just like, yeah. your blade is really loose. I was like, what? I was like, I thought it was tensioned properly. He's like, let me send you a video. And like, he literally like gets on his phone and like texts me a video of how to tighten the blade correctly and whatnot. But anyways, he helped me dial it in and we got it cutting properly. It wasn't too bad. It's just that the blade was a little loose, and it turns out that one of the belts is cracked out, so it's kind of giving it a weird wobble. But he we did what we did. As we're cutting on the bandsaw, like our dogs are both running around like crazy, and I like turn around to like go grab the next piece of wood, and I turn around, and as I step down, I'm like, that felt weird. I'm like, that's not a feeling I'm normally used to in my shop. And I look down, and dude, Nanu took the biggest dump right in the middle of my walkway in my shop, too.
What kind of dog is this? How big is this dog?
It's like like a 35-pound, 40-pound little pup. I mean, it's not real big, but it's not a small dog, not a teeny dog.
Did your foot slide, or did it just squish down?
No, it squished and slid. That's kind of how I knew there was something going on.
God.
Yeah, dude. Oh, bro.
That sucks.
I'm like, Nanu. I said, Nanu. And Bryce turns around and gets like the most like disgusted face. Like he's like so embarrassed. Like he could not believe that fucking Nanu did that, dude. It was just like, oh my gosh. Just like, dude. And it wasn't just one.
Shit in your own shop. Wow.
In my own shop, dude. Yeah, I invite the man over and his dog shits in my shop, dude. I'm like, what are you doing?
Wait, so who cleaned it up?
He cleaned up most of it. After he left, I did a little more cleaning because I didn't want my dog to get any funny ideas of like, oh, this is where we shit now.
Yeah, it's cool shit in here now. Cool.
Yeah. So, needless to say, yeah, I was just like, oh my god, dude, fucking Nanu. So yeah, so Bryce talks shit on my bandsaw, and then his dog shits in my fucking shop. I was just like, this is going great.
This is the theme. Is this shit on Ben? Like the shit on Ben theme continues.
So yeah, that was funny, man. Yeah, that was hilarious.
I thought when you said that, like, you were afraid of people coming into your shop, is like that, like they would hurt themselves on your tool or something like that, like a shop safety thing, not imposter syndrome. I love it. It's so funny. The honest insecurities.
Hey man, I'm an honest guy. It is what it is. Like, I think for the most part my tools are set up properly and they do their job well, but you never know. Like, especially a bandsaw. Bandsaws are kind of finicky as it is, so like, and Bryce is a bandsaw guy, so I was, a little nervous and, just checking out the bandsaw. But if it was the Jet, it would have been one thing. I'm not nervous about that because the Jet is dialed in. That one's, perfect. I shouldn't say perfect, but it's, it cuts nice and straight and everything. And but the other bandsaw I was a little nervous about.
Yeah. I would just assume that all of my tools aren't set up correctly. So like, I won't read a description on a post, but I will read the instructions for a tool almost cover to cover, right?
Yeah.
And it still is like, I'm like, yeah, like the drum sander. Like, I know the drum sander is pretty much just wheel the crank until it's above your board, and then put your board through, and then lower it down incrementally. I'm sure that's all it is. But still, I'm like, but there might be hidden features in here that I don't know about.
Oh, you mean like the air compressor that I still haven't fucked with?
Yeah, like that stupid air compressor. I don't know, dude. So
hey, I wasn't the only one though. I wasn't the only one who's never messed with that air compressor. It came out of the box working how it was supposed to, and I haven't messed with it.
Speaking of not screw with tools is the way to go. So
yeah. Drum sander. You got yours, right?
The tool that I've been talking about, I've been waiting to finally got here. Was it 2 days ago? So, yep. And my new best friend, my neighbor who is across the street, came over and helped me put it on the stand. I think he came over to my shop for the first time, right?
Yeah.
And our kids had like a joint birthday party together because their birthdays are like 2 days apart. Which, by the way, okay, I'm just making sure my daughter's birthday is Monday. So just in case it's not today.
Yeah. Oh, wait. So time out real quick. That was the other funny part about Bryce coming over. He comes over, and halfway through the time he's here, he gets a phone call, and he's talking to somebody, and the person is on speakerphone, and I can hear the person go, "So what are you doing for your birthday?" And Bryce is like, "Oh, we're doing this," and hangs up, and then he like quickly hangs up or something. I'm like, "Is it your birthday today?" He's like, "Yeah, it's my birthday today." How random is that? You come over on your birthday. Like, it was just so strange, dude. I just couldn't believe it.
Did you guys go get cupcakes or anything?
No, he just dog shit in my fucking shop. That was what he did for his birthday.
He brought over a poop cake for you.
Exactly. Anyways, your neighbor.
Your bandsaw is pretty shitty. My dog thinks so too.
And by the way, happy birthday to me.
Yeah. Look, you making the stew with him is a birthday present to him. So
yeah. Sorry, your neighbor. You were saying, who's your new best friend?
Yeah, my new best friend, man. So, dude, I had him. Like our daughters basically told us like, hey, we're having a joint birthday party, and we're like, whatever, sure, dude. The party was fun. It was small, like maybe 10 kids, and then it's half my family showed up. But like, so they handled the food and I handled the cake, dude. This cake I bought, oh my god, dude. So like, I bought it from a place that had a good reputation. Okay,
yeah,
and it was just a buttercream cake with funfetti. Okay, I thought like that'd be good. And I was like, we want to have unicorns on it, and like, happy birthday, Ellie and Mia, right? And they're like, well, we don't draw anything on cakes. And I was like, you guys have like a really good reputation. You don't have an artist on staff to like draw stuff on cakes? And they're like, no. They're like, but we can airbrush it. And I was like, all right, fine, whatever. Just airbrush it, rainbow shit. Like, that's fine. So I go pick this cake up, right? And like, the first thing I noticed when I picked the cake up is it was a sheet cake too. Which by the way, real quick, okay, if somebody tells you, and you think you're gonna have like 20 people at a party, let's say, if somebody tells you that a cake serves 20 people, but it's a 12-inch round birthday cake, would you believe that?
No, I ain't buying that shit.
No. So I was like, what's the next size up?
No way. Yeah.
And they're like a sheet cake, and that serves like 40. I'm like, perfect. Dude, this cake weighed like 10 pounds. Right?
Yeah.
It was heavy. So and they pop it open, and they're like, all right, here's your cake, right? And they slide it out, and it looked like it was a quinceañera cake, right?
Oh,
like very gaudy, sparkly airbrushing and glitter and shit. And I was just like, I looked at the lady, and she looked at me. She's like, what do you think? I'm like, it's fucking perfect. Fucking perfect. Thank you. You could not, like, I didn't even know this was an option. Thank you. So I texted Jackie out of my way when I get in the car. And I was like, I picked up the cake. I'm like, it's 40 pounds, and it looks like it's for a quinceañera. And like, all she responded with was like excited emoji. Because like she's been with me long enough that she's learned to appreciate an awkward situation. Yeah. Because look, dude, I make things awkward all the time. So just kind of like to see people like get like weirded out, Yeah, so I brought the cake over, and like the party was fun. The cake was like, I've never had a cake where I thought it had too much frosting on it. This one had. It was like it was 2-layer cake, and each layer of cake was the same height as the layer of frosting in the middle.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, so like the cake's
ridiculous.
Like the cake's like 3 inches tall, and it's like an inch of cake, an inch of frosting, and an inch of cake, and then like a 1/4 inch of frosting on top of everything. It was like it was like 60 to 70% frosting. I was like this like, I knew it was too much frosting when my dad said he did not want to take any cake home. But so we're sitting there hanging out at the house, I'm talking to him, and he starts to mention, he was like, the house across the street from you has a wood shop in the basement. And I was like,
Tell me more.
What do you mean has a wood shop in the basement? He's like, yeah, like the guy in there was like a semi-professional woodworker, and he's got all these tools in there, and he passed away like 3 years ago. And I know that his wife has not done anything with any of these tools. I'm like, there's a honeypot of tools across the street from my house. What are you talking about? So now, like, it turns out he's done some woodworking too, right? So,
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm like, cool. Like somebody on my block who's at least familiar with woodworking. I was like, this is kind of cool. I'm like, I like this. So I had him come over to help me lift the drum sander because I thought about Jackie lifting it, and I remembered your story about Debbie lifting the table saw into the pickup truck. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Like, let me hurt somebody else's back other than my wife's. I'm like,
yeah, you guys could have done it. I mean, the heaviest part is the motor part. You know what I mean? The backside. You know what I mean? Is which you could have lifted, but no, I mean, the fact, dude. Have you done any investigating on these tools?
Well, I have not stuck my head into the window of the neighbor's house yet, but I do have a plan. Okay, this is it because, like, look, my neighbor's a nice guy, right? I like him. He's cool, but when it comes to getting shit done, I have a different way of handling things than most people, and I'm not going to sit there and wait for him to like figure out. He's like, well, when I see the neighbor outside the house, I'll go talk to her. And I was like,
nope.
No. I'm like, that is not gonna work. I'm like, but he did mention that my neighbor is like good friends with her, right? And I'm like,
yeah.
Boom. I'm like, there it is. So like when I see my neighbor, which I see her all the time, I'm gonna be like, yo, you know, like tell me what's up with this house across the street. You know, she's a sweet old lady though. So like I don't think she'll understand. She knows I do woodworking, but I don't think she'll understand. Like, but I was like, if I can have the Ben experience, you know,
that's tough, man. I mean, I lucked out big time. So it sounds like you're in the same situation, though. It sounds like you're in pretty much the exact same situation. Husband passed away a couple years ago. This lady's probably just about ready to get rid. The only difference is basement. Kind of, you forget about it, right? Garage where mine was, she sees it all the time because she's parking in there. So it eventually wore on her, and she wanted to get rid of it. Basement, I could sit down there for a while and nobody, you know, it might not bother her too much. So
that's what I'm saying, dude. It's probably just sitting on there, just whatever, you know. So like, and he's like, look, his impression is that none of it's been touched since he passed away. So I'm like, you got. I'm like. And he was like, he said, he's been in the basement, right? And he said,
oh, okay.
He was like, it was a lot of professional, industrial looking machines, right? Which, like, he's not like we are in terms of what's what, but yeah. I'm like inside of a basement. I'm like, there's probably a cabinet saw in there at least. I'm like, there's probably a floor jointer, right? I'm like, there's a 20-inch planer in there. Who knows, dude? Like, who knows, Ben? Drill press. Yeah. I'm like, maybe there's like every hand plane known to man in that basement. I'm like I really want to like, in I'm gonna give it about a week, right? And if I don't make progress in a week, I might just go knock on the door and be like, yo, like, I've never introduced myself to you before. I'm Luke across the street.
Okay, that was my next question. I was going to ask: have you met this lady yet? Even met her?
No, but like, dude, I've been in the house. Wait, yeah, a year now. So, like, look, I met you by now. I'm coming to make some friends.
Yeah, across the street neighbor, right? Like directly across from you.
Like directly across next door. So okay, like my house is third from the corner. And this house is second from a corner across the street.
Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, that's definitely proximity of introducing yourself. You know what I mean? That's like across the street neighbor. You know what I mean? That's bring over an apple pie or some sort of dessert and say, oh, you know, we haven't, you know, officially introduced ourselves. We're the Gelmans. Bring the kids over, have them looking cute next to you. You know.
Oh,
do the whole thing.
I'll bring my ace in the hole with me, Bubs.
Yeah,
That's all I
that's
need.
what I'm saying.
Yeah. Be like, Bubs, make sweet eyes at her. And he'll be like, you know. Look, he's like the what is it, the Sex Panther from 50% of the time he works all the time.
50% of the time he works all the time.
You know? And the other 50% of the time I'm just yelling at him.
So so you got the drum sander. It's in the house.
I did get the drum sander.
Have you run anything?
Yeah.
Well, in the shop, sorry. In the shop. Have you ran anything through it yet?
Nah. I mean, I put my phone on the conveyor belt to run it through, but clean the screen, you know. But besides that,
did you video that?
Yeah, I did, but I ran it too fast, and it just, you know. Plus, like, the drum sander is brand new, so it's like it runs through, and it's like you can tell nothing's been through this thing before. So,
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, which one did you get?
The 1836. So
the jet, right?
The jet, yeah, 1836. So, yeah, it's
nice.
pretty sweet. I'm excited. But yeah,
man.
So
say that should bring you to the next level in your shop to take some of that work off your plate as far as sanding goes. I mean, Jesus, I've watched you sit there for hours and 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 hours sanding those cutting boards you did.
And it's not even flat. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Yeah. So that's actually those last cutting boards the reason I bought the drum sander. I was like, this is never gonna happen again. But what's cool is that we have this old cutting board in our house, like a nice walnut end grain cutting board. And like my wife had mentioned, she's like, I'd like a new cutting board, I think, at some point. And I was like, yeah, but you know, like until we get there, like I could just run this thing through the drum sander and make it flat again, and like, you know, rechamfer it, you know, put some oil on it, and like throw some feet on it. And I'll be like, it'd be like a brand new cutting board for us, for at least for the short term.
Yeah, man, I've done it to all of our boards that we've had in our house prior to me having a drum sander or doing, you know, woodworking. You know, yeah. I've since refurbished all our boards. Do you guys have a pull-out cutting board? Your house is probably too new. You guys don't have those.
Oh, like where it's like above the drawer but below the countertop?
Yeah.
Nah, we don't have one of those.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we had one in this house when we moved in because it's kind of an older house, and so I redid that one and it just badass, dude. I love it. I love how it turned out. It's just kind of a cool feature. The next person who lives here at some point, because I'm not going to take that with me, but they'll expect some shitty cutting board when they pull it out. They're going to be like, "Oh, what is
Is it over a garbage can?"
No, it's just over one of the. It's just over like the utensil drawer.
Oh, I've seen them over the garbage can before, and I always wonder, like, if you're cutting stuff on there, right, and like the garbage is open below it. Okay, if you push the cutting board in, will all the food just drop into the garbage can?
That would be a slick move.
Yeah. I had a fantastically odd request for a build this week. This dude from Turkey, right, hit me up and was like, "Yo," he's like, "I love your work." And he's like, he goes, "I want you to make a cat house for me."
Okay.
Do you know what cat house is?
I mean, just like a scratchy cat house thing that cats live in?
It's like a birdhouse for cats. It's like a 2-layer house where they can like perch up on the deck on the top.
Yeah,
but it looks like a house.
Yeah.
And
I have cats. We had one.
Yeah. He's like, "I want you to make me a cat house." And I was like, I mean, the shipping alone on a cat house to Turkey, I was like, I have no idea how much that would cost. He was like, "Yeah, it's I'm like, "Are you super rich?" And he was like, "No." I'm like, this might not be the most realistic thing. He was like, "Yeah, I know." I was like, "Do you know anybody in Turkey who can help you out?" He's like, "Look, man, I just want to tell you I like your work." I was like, "Okay, perfect. That's fine."
So he went from, "Can you make me a cat?" He didn't know how to approach you. Basically, he was like, I don't know how to approach this guy and tell him I just like his work." So he came up with, "Can you ship me a cat house to Turkey?"
Yeah, and I looked at his profile, and it was all pictures of cats. I was like, this makes sense. So,
wow.
Like if you had like 100,000 followers, I'd be like, "Man, maybe we need to make this work." That would be good content, you know. When he said cat house at first, though, I thought of it like a whorehouse. So
Oh, cat house. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
That's
and
funny.
then my head went to remember the one in Beetlejuice, right? Like the red district, the red. It was like the house was like lit up in red. Beetlejuice was in it, and like,
yeah, I do remember that.
But it was like miniature. Remember?
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. When they,
It was like on the train set or something, and like
yeah,
it's like a one building that's all lit up red, and it's in Beetlejuice is in a whorehouse. Like,
yeah, dude, Michael.
So
Keaton
glad they
was
haven't
great in
remade that movie.
Oh,
So-
dude, if that's a movie that they cannot touch, dude. Like, dude, that would just be so sad if they tried to remake that.
Oh yeah,
It's one of those
It would-
classics, dude.
it was a Tim Burton movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, Tim Burton, Michael Keaton.
I think Tim Burton movies in particular are really hard to remake.
Yeah, they're a little crazy. Just like Nightmare Before Christmas, and what other ones did he do?
He did Batman.
Batman, obviously. Those were the best. I think his is the best Batman. It's just so good. It was so good. It was so dark and just like wicked.
Is that Batmobile your favorite Batmobile?
Yeah, Keaton's Batmobile is the best for sure.
Yeah, I love that it's almost impossible to drive, but it does look the coolest.
Because you can't see out of it. Is that what you mean?
You can't see out of it. It's like 20 feet long, but it's like on an Impala body, and it's like Impala frame, and it's like got these oversized tires. They said that they had a hard time even making the turns in the car chase scene. Like it was just so big, and they had to speed it up because the car only went like 20 miles an hour. So, but at least it had the rocket booster on the back. So
yeah, that was an epic. You want to hear another blackout story?
Blackout story. You blacked out again? Did you black out on a weed pen again?
I don't know honestly if it was the weed pen or I don't even remember hitting the pen, but all I can know is I can't decide if I keep blacking out or if I just have like narcolepsy or something. I'm not really sure what it is.
Narcolepsy?
It's like I don't remember being in the kitchen at all the other night, right? I just remember going from my seat here in the garage to the bed. But I woke up the next morning and I came out into the kitchen like I always do to get things going with the kids and stuff. And on the counter was a Ziploc bag. Me and the bags. I don't know what it is with Ziploc bags, but a Ziploc bag and my coffee filters that are always sitting over here next to my coffee machine and my pour over stuff in the box. I always keep them in the box of filters. Like I leave the box there with the filters. For some reason, the box was not there. It was like somewhere I couldn't find the box, but the box was. I found the box. I found the box since I had set it in the other room, but I didn't know where it was that morning. I was like, where the fuck is the bag? Was sitting there on the counter with all the coffee filters in there, just sitting there open, and that was it.
Okay,
I don't know, and I don't know what. I don't know why. I don't know when. I don't know who. So I woke up.
I want to solve this mystery.
So I went in and I called Debbie. She had just left. That's what it was. She had just left because she had to go. She had to go early for a dentist appointment or something. So I called her and I sent her a photo, or I took a picture, texted her, and then I called her and I said, "Look at your text." She said, "What?" And I said, "Did you do this?" And she was like, "I don't even know what that is." And I'm like, "It's the coffee filters in a bag again, or just sitting on the counter." She's like, "Nope. I had no idea what that is about." So I was like, okay, I guess I blacked out again. So I don't know what the deal is, bro. Like, honestly, like, I don't know if I'm just like passing out or blacking out, and on the way to my bedroom, I stopped in the kitchen for some reason and start doing stuff like fixing things or trying to fix things either that or I go into the kitchen and I somehow like have like narcolepsy or something, and I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what the deal is.
I think I know, Ben.
All right, let's hear it.
I have two theories. Okay, I'll go with the easy theory first.
Yeah, twofold.
Right?
Okay, let's hear.
Yeah, two theories. One, where was the box? Tell me more about where you found the box.
The box was in the It was in the dining room, over on like the dining room table over there in the other room.
Was anything in the box?
There was nothing in the box. That's the weird part.
But like it was on the table.
It was sitting there on the table. Yeah.
Huh. And there was like nothing next to it. It was just there. It's the box alone.
Just the box. That's the weird part. I don't understand it.
I've got bad news for you then, because the box is there. My first thought was, maybe like you were sitting there and you're like, I need a box for something, right? And you're like, that filter box would be perfect. Like that made sense to me. But unfortunately, if that is not the case, it's got to be my other theory, which is way worse news for you.
What's that?
Have you been watching Moon Knight?
Oh, yes.
Maybe you have a second personality that's emerging, right? That is a weed-induced personality that comes out. So like you black out, but other Ben pops up. Maybe his name is like, Bruce, right? And he's just like, new out of the body. So like he gets to like, like, I don't know what to do. Like, let's put some rye bread in some jerky packages, or like, let's put some coffee filters in it. Like maybe you have another personality that's coming out, Ben. That's like a weed-induced.
I don't know.
Split personality syndrome. Do you ever think about that?
Could be. I haven't thought about it until now. Now I'm getting a little freaked out about it.
I mean, you should be, because like if you have a second personality, like obviously, I hope they know me and they call me someday. But that would be real weird.
Dude, I don't know, man. I'm starting to get a little worried though. When Frankie started sleepwalking, we bought locks for the doors that you can lock the door. Like I put it so that you can lock the door from the inside, like not just the normal locks, but like an actual, like it's like a thing that folds over the door and locks in place, so they can't, even if they undo the door and undo the locks, they can't physically pull it open. It's just and it's high enough up at the top of the door that the kids can't reach it, obviously. But I feel like I need to do something like that for myself, like some sort of thing to keep me out of the kitchen or keep me. I don't know what it is.
Dude, you should do what the Moon Knight guy's doing, man. Just chain your leg to something in your house.
Tether myself to the wall so I can't get out. What's with the sand, by the way? What's with the sand around his bed?
I don't know. I don't know, man. Like I thought it was maybe it was like something like he would see like footsteps, right? Like him walk through it.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. But it was just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of weird. But yeah, maybe
like mental health split personality thing. Like I've been watching that show and I'm like, if this is how having like multiple personalities is, like, holy hell, would that be terrifying? Like, dude, like 1 minute you're just like sitting there and then the next minute you're like in the park, right? And it's like, and there's like dead people around you. You'd be like, oh my God, like, fucking horrible. I was like, what would happen if this happened to like a friend of mine? And now that I think it's happened. So,
hey, look, man, as long as I don't wake up like the guy at the end of Werewolf in London with like blood all over my face, laying next to a bloody carcass of an animal or something, I think I'm okay. So far, I'm okay. If I'm just putting coffee filters in a plastic bag, I think I'm okay right now.
Your other personality is it just has OCD and it's all of its obsessive compulsive disorder is around Ziploc bags.
Oh God, dude, that would be hilarious. No,
but
I'll
some
keep
Ziploc bags out at night just to see if your other personality like takes the bait. Like maybe you could trigger an event.
I just need to be a little more. Yeah, I don't know. That's the weird part. I don't know what triggers it. First time it was beef jerky and rye bread. This time it was coffee filters and I think
is it always in the kitchen?
Yeah, it's always in the kitchen.
So I think like what we should do then is if it happens when it happens again, right? Because at this point it's probably going to happen again. I think you need to get one of those Wise cams, right? Like the camera and put it up in your kitchen, so that way you could see, like, you know, what your other what Bruce is up to, right? We're just gonna call him Bruce for right now.
I love that it's like Bruce, like I'm the Hulk.
Yeah. Which is funny because the Hulk is like a separate personality from Bruce Banner. So
Exactly. Yeah. I should do that though. I have an extra ring cam, like one of those, ring, like the cams, like little HD camera ones. I should take it out from the backyard and put it in the kitchen just to catch myself.
Dude, so that way I'll just get like a weird video from you and it'll be like you like walking around in circles in the kitchen, putting things in Ziploc bags, and you'd be like, look, dude, I don't remember any of this shit. And I'll be like, holy ball sack, it's true. Bruce got out last night. He was making a jerky rye bread sandwich. Like I love that guy. Not a care in the world. Ever think about quitting smoking weed for a little bit, Ben? That's stupid. That's a stupid idea.
Bruce has got to live, bud. He's got to live. He's got a life to live too. You know what I mean?
Oh, jeez. What if like Bruce has two skills and like one's like trading on a stock exchange that's open in the middle of the night, and the other is putting things in Ziploc bags. Like you can wake up and be like, holy shit, he's got another bank account. He's got like 50 G's in there.
How do we channel that side of him? Is what I'm wondering.
I think you got to encourage it. Look, it's through any relationship, Ben. You have to encourage it and give it positive feedback to help get it in the right position.
So like turn on the NASDAQ as I go to bed, as I come out here, turn it on in the living room. So as he walks through the living room, he goes, oh, yeah, maybe I'll stop here instead of going all the way to the kitchen.
Or like rig something up, like if he opens up the fridge, like a TV turns on and it automatically plays the business report.
There you go.
Today in the Tokyo Stock Exchange, showing you how much I know about other stock exchanges. The Australian does Australia have a stock exchange? Probably not.
I don't know, man. I do a podcast with you. If you think if I had money from a stock exchange, I'd be doing a podcast with you.
I don't know, man. You thought we were gonna get rich off this, man. We got 9 Patreons, dude. It ain't gonna happen that quick. Don't leave us Patreons. We need the money.
Yeah, seriously. We love our patrons.
Yeah. Patreon. Patrons or Patreons?
I think it's patrons. I've been meaning to talk to you about that because we keep calling them Patreons. And I think Patreon is the service. And I believe they are called patrons.
I mean, like,
but I don't know.
Like if it was like Google, I guess they'd be like Googlers, right? Like Patreon would be Patreoner.
Patreoners?
There's gotta be a cool name for that.
Yeah. Well, we're going to probably just keep calling them our Patreons because that's what we do.
Well, they're probably patrons.
That's what I said. They're probably patrons of Patreon.
I was listening.
You were totally not listening to me.
I'm still thinking about all the other shenanigans Bruce can get into. Like, I can't even stop thinking about your other personality that we just discovered. This is like huge. Like, there's going to be scientists that are going to want to come to your house and study you. And I'm going to give them your phone number and address. It's going to be great. Bryce, when you're on your way over to Ben's house today, can you pick up Dr. Lipstein? He needs to do a brain scan on Ben.
We need more patrons because we need to save up to pay for my brain scan. Medical bills are going to
be crazy. Yeah.
What's an MRI cost? I mean, let's be real.
I don't know. Is there a gift with that purchase too? Is it like, do you get like a free gown with it?
Oh man.
Oh my god, dude. I still have a little bit of the like I'm like 99% better from last week, but I still have like a lingering like phlegmy cough that pops up like a couple times a day, and then I now today I have a runny nose. But there's no dog. Elvis isn't in here, so at least I'm not, fighting farts.
Oh, that's good.
So
you were telling me that Lee hit you up and was telling you stories to match your dog stories.
Yeah, he told me that he was listening to the podcast, and when I was talking about the story about how the Elvis was farting into the CPAP machine, he was like. He said he looked at his wife and was like, I can't believe that I'm not the only person this has happened to. And I was like, what? He was like, hey, by the way, you did a masterful job of describing how that fart smells in the CPAP mask. I was Dude, it's look, it's an experience that not me. Oh, and then somebody else sent me a video of a dude farting into his mother's oxygen machine. Like, so the mom's like in a bed in the house with the oxygen mask on, right? And the dude farted into the intake for that thing. I was like,
that's
like,
savage.
and you see her like jump up and like fall out of bed, and I'm like, that is so cruel. Like, your mom's over there dying, and you're farting into her oxygen machine mask. I'm like, granted, it has like 4 million views, so it was worth it, but still, it was a dick move.
Earlier, you were talking about Jackie, and you were talking about something you said about you guys, the way she reacts to you when you were talking about you waking her up in the middle of the night and telling her it was 5 a.m. Like, have you seen this new trend of these videos of these people who are like, I want to see if my wife's energy matches my energy. Oh, and they'll just be sitting on the couch, and they'll all of a sudden just jump up and be like, ah! And then the wife will the wife doesn't have no idea what's going on, but she starts freaking out. Oh my god, dude! I love those videos, man. It's so fucking funny.
They are really funny, but I don't think I could ever like full on prank my wife like that. She would be like, she would immediately be like, you got the time to set up this elaborate prank to get me and get it on camera, but you don't have the time to take out the garbage? Like, what the fuck? You know? You could have cleaned the bathroom when you were fucking sitting there setting up this pee trick. Like,
yeah.
They
don't appreciate the hard work.
Nah. And nor should they. It's like, you know, look, history has already came in and told me I was wrong. So, yeah.
Oh, dude.
No, but
that's funny.
I fuck with a lot of people, but yeah, my wife is definitely one I fuck with less than most.
Yeah.
So,
you sleep next to her, so that's probably smart.
Yeah. Well, like, did I tell you like when we were dating and I first told her I loved her, right? Like, did I tell you about this?
No, I haven't heard this one.
Oh my fucking god, dude! I'm like we're dating, right? And one of the places that I love going is a hibachi place called Rana Japan, right? It was the hibachi place we went to as a kid, and so it has nostalgia and whatever. You know, most of these places are pretty similar.
They know you when you go in.
No, it's not like that, dude. But anyways, it's just she was like wanting to do a special dinner or something, and I was like, I would really like hibachi, right? So we're sitting at a table, and this is like when we were just dating, right? And we're sitting at a table, with three other. Wait, it's 8 people. Yeah, 3 other couples. So it's us and 3 other couples, right? Yeah, and we don't know any of these people. Like, it's, you know, that's the way these places are. They just seat you all together. So so we're sitting there, and I said something to her, like giving her shit about something, and she like elbows me. And I look at her, I was like, come on, you know I love you, right? And like the whole group at the table did not know like our relationship situation. And she looks at me and like, this is the first time I told her I loved her, right? Yeah. And in front of all these strangers. And she's like, and then she goes, you know, like in our family, like we're really you know, we don't show like emotion like this, and like you know, I want to tell you like, you know, I how I feel about you, but like, you know, I don't want, you know, like she made like a whole thing like she was so, first of all, like nervous and embarrassed, and like she felt like she needed to reciprocate, and like I was like, I knew she liked me, I didn't really care. I did, you know, and I knew she liked me a lot, so I wasn't really like worried about her or anything like that. Yeah, you know, but she was all like nervous, like I might like be offended or something. Like if, keep in mind, she didn't know me that well back then, so she's like thought I'd be like offended or something. And then like, so like when we walk out of the restaurant, like 3 steps out of the restaurant, she's like, I love you, I love you, I love you. I just want to let you know. She's like.
That's cute.
And I was like, oh, that's cute. But like since then, she's like, I can't believe you fucking told me that you love me for the first time at Rana Japan with 3 other stranger couples at the table with us. She's like, that's what you decided to tell me, that you love me? And I was like, it's as good a time as any. Like,
yeah.
Like, it's not like I proposed to her that way. Like, oh, hey, in between the shrimp with the egg on it and the steak, I want to make sure I propose to you. Put the ring in the onion volcano for me, please.
Catch it in his hat.
Yeah, flips it out, or he like flips the shrimp tail into his pocket, right? Yeah. And then he reaches to get it out, and there's a ring in there with it. Like,
yes, that's the move right there. That's the move for the next time. The next time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You guys, everybody out there can steal that.
Yeah, I do like when people on the off occasion. I don't know anyone else who's getting married. Hold on, I'm gonna take my hoodie off. It's fucking hot in here. Oh, Jesus. Throw it on the ground. Anyways, this is the time of year where the weather swings like 20 degrees a day. It was like 45 right now. It's probably like 70. So, but yeah. So, I don't know, what was I saying? Totally distracted myself.
About the ring in the pocket and the the guy.
I did a good job proposing to her. I think I talked about that with the hotel room hijacking thing. I tell you about that?
No, you haven't told us. You haven't told us that story.
Oh my God, dude. So like the way I proposed to her, I thought was very romantic. So like, she she was like, it was like my birthday, right? And she's like, I want to get you. I want to go on a trip. We're gonna do a trip for your birthday, right? Or should I? No. Oh yeah. She's like, where you want to go? Let's go on a trip for your birthday. Where you want to go? And I was like, how about Austin, Texas? Right? Because I was really into barbecue back then. She's like, all right. She's like, that's fine. We could go there. She's like, but then she's like, I have all these points and stuff like that. She's like, what do you think about doing like a weekend trip to New York too? I was like, sure, whatever. Like,
yeah.
So like, but I had been saving up for a ring, and I was like, this is perfect. So she gave me all the details for the trip, and then I called the hotel, and I was like, I'm like, we're coming in this Friday. I'm like, I want you to put chocolate and flowers and candles and have music playing in the room when we get there, like champagne.
Wow.
My whole thought was, I wanted to propose as soon as we got there, right? Because I was like, then for the rest of the weekend, she could be like, we're engaged, we're on vacation together. Like this, like I thought it'd be a good experience,
Yeah.
So they upgraded us to a suite in the hotel, right? And the hotel was like a brand new hotel, so like they weren't that busy, and it was really cool. So we fly there. I got the ring in my pocket the whole time, and I'm like tight gripping it because like I spent a lot of money on this ring. It was like hold on. I spent a lot of money on this ring. It was like it's like a used car in my pocket,
Yeah, exactly.
Like fuck if I was losing this ring. I was like, I might have lost my wallet, but I'm not gonna lose that ring. So so we get there, and like she's checking in, and like the whole staff knew. They were like, the lady told me on the phone, she's like, you're gonna be the first person to propose in this hotel, right?
Wow.
And I was like, I'm like, that's pretty cool. So like we get there, all the staff is like looking at him like, that's them, right? And I'm like, I'm like, fuck you, keep it down,
chill
right?
Out.
Chill the fuck out. So we get up to the hotel room, and she opens the door, and I let her go in first, right?
Yeah.
They really did a great job. Flower petals on the ground, bottle of champagne on ice, romantic music, candles, and she looks at me.
Wow.
She's like, wow. She's like, my status really gets me some premium upgrades. And I just get down on one knee, and I was like, will you marry me? And she like tackled me, right? Like later on, I'm like, you really thought the hotel without like chocolate covered strawberries, champagne, and rose petals was appropriate for a guest stay here? She's like, I didn't know. So I hijacked the trip and made it into an engagement trip. So,
that's awesome, man. That's epic. Yeah, dude.
So,
way to go.
I do make suggestions to the people all the time when they're like, if I'm ever in the conversation where it's like, I want to propose to my significant other, I'm always like giving him the worst ways to do it. So, Like, you know what you should do is the next time you're out to dinner and she gets up to go to the bathroom, go into the bathroom at, like 2 minutes after she's in there and propose there.
Yeah.
They're like, really? I'm like, yeah, it's totally romantic. No one's ever done that type of thing before. Do them right there in the women's bathroom. Like, you know.
Oh, Jesus, dude.
Or like a flash mob. I'm like, try flash mob. Like, you can do a whole dance routine and then give her the ring. I'll video it. You know? I'm not helpful all the time. So.
You were helpful for me today, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, that's a different story. Anyways, bro, we're here. We've made it. We're at an hour. Let's do our shout outs. Let's shout some people out.
I had more I was going to talk about. That's fine though.
Well, let's talk about it then.
The other thing I was curious about was what your first car was.
1968 Volkswagen Beetle. Adjustable front end, primer gray, like eye primer, like it. Well, when it was my brother's car, so he bought it originally. He had it
New
for like
or
a
used?
year. It's a 68, bro.
I don't know how old your brother is.
It's like your very old brother. The gap between you and your brother.
Maybe like your parents had him like in junior high and then like waited 20 years to have you. I don't know, like how this shit works.
That's hilarious. Used 68 Volkswagen Bug.
Let's really clarify these things.
Used 68 Volkswagen Beetle. Yeah. It was my brother's. He had it for like a year. He bought it from a parking lot down the street from our house. Some guy was selling it. And then where did he do? Oh, he went into the Marines. He joined the Marines. And when he went into boot camp, he sold it to his younger brother, which was me. And I drove that for about a year and a half until my brother came back from the Marine Corps, stole it in the middle of the night, drunk, and crashed it. And that was the end of the car. So I bought it from him. And then he took it and wrecked it and destroyed it. And yeah.
Did he ever give you any money for that?
No, he didn't. But
what were you driving when you met Debbie?
I didn't have a car when we met, to be honest.
Oh,
I was So out of the Navy, when I got out of the Navy, I didn't have a car at the time, and I didn't purchase one.
Do seamen usually have cars?
No, I was a fireman.
Seamen could be firemen. Bruce would agree with me on this.
Yeah, Bruce. Well, you'll have to ask Bruce later. So I didn't have a car, but she drove a Volkswagen 2000. What was like a 2001? Wait, 2001? Yeah, no. What year was that? When did we meet? Yeah, 2001. 2001 blue Volkswagen Beetle is what she drove. So I met her. My first car was a Beetle. When I met her car was a Beetle. And
but
it
she
was
had
one
like
of
the modern version, right?
Yeah, the new Volkswagen Beetle, which was.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever been in one of those?
No, but I know they had that flower pot in the dashboard.
Yeah, they did have the flower pot in the dashboard. No, those things are crazy roomy, like very roomy inside. It was very surprising. Because when I first got in, I was expecting it to be kind of like cramped, but no, it was very roomy. So that was my first car. And what was yours?
I had an 84 Mustang convertible. So, and it was not like the cool one. It was the LX. So it had a 4-cylinder engine, and it was white with a white top and a light blue interior. And this was and my uncle sold it to me, and it was the biggest heap of shit you could ever imagine in a whole life. Like I had to replace the top. Like I swore it burnt gas like it was leaking gas. It had no power, right? But I liked it. It was a perfect car for me because I beat that thing up, and I got into an accident where a cabbie like ripped the whole front end of it, whole front, like all the like plastic off the front of the car.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. How is that though to drive? You get yourself a Mustang and it's got a 4-cylinder in it. Like, that's kind of.
I was a total poser. And there was like this guy that I was kind of friends with named Diego. Well, we were friends. I say we were kind of friends. We were friends, but like we kind of like we didn't keep up our friendship. It's like I got this car, and then like 2 months later, he bought the same exact car in red. And I was like, so like everywhere I went where he was there, I was like everyone's like, oh, you guys are like the Mustang bros. I'm like, I don't want to associate myself to him. Like, fuck him. And his car was nicer than mine. So I was like, you're fucking dick. Like, you could have bought anything else, man. He still had the 4-cylinder engine like I did, but his was like red with like a tan interior, and like his interior wasn't ripped and cracked.
He was just trying to start a car club with you, bro.
I watched him almost wreck his too, which I thought was hilarious. So,
oh Jesus, dude,
yeah.
Is that pre Isuzu Trooper?
Oh yeah, this is the car before the Trooper. So,
okay,
yeah,
okay, because the Trooper was classic,
dude. I've had a lot of cars. So, but yeah,
have you?
Yeah, dude.
The picture of you with the Trooper is classic. I've only had a handful of cars in my lifetime. How many have you had?
Let's see. Mustang. I've had 2 Isuzus. I had a Dodge Avenger. I had the Jeep. I had a Jeep Cherokee Limited. It was green. So that's 6. Yeah. I've owned 4 BMWs. So I've had 11 cars.
Jeez. Wow.
And 3 boats. So
3 boats. And you've crashed all 3 boats, right?
The only vehicle that I've ever touched that is still surviving, as far as I know, is the Jeep I'm driving right now. So, yeah. The boats. Yeah, I've only had a
handful of cars. I had the Volkswagen. I had a Honda Civic. And then after I had the Honda Civic, I got out of the Navy, and then I had a truck, a Mazda B2000, and then an F-150, and then the Dodge I just had, and now my new Dodge. So I've had like 6 cars in my lifetime.
I mean, I shouldn't be bragging about having that many cars. It was, look, until I met Jackie, I made a lot of bad decisions, and now I make slightly fewer bad decisions. So,
as long as they're tapering, bro, you're going in the right direction.
Look, I could never get rid of her because she has dramatically improved my life. So, or she's gotten me to improve my own life. So
yeah, a little guidance. She's giving you a little guidance along the way, probably.
Yeah, exactly. All right, dude, we can wrap this up. So, but yeah, let's do some shout outs and thank some people for this. Our Patreons. First Patreon, Kyle Foot, from Footwork Woodworking. He's also my shout out this week because he had a baby yesterday named Finnegan, which is cool. Congrats, Kyle.
That's awesome. Congrats, buddy.
And then Matthew Gerard. Lee Oman from Regal Street. Oh, Matthew Gerard is from the Wooden Mustache. Lee from Regal Street. I wish he was on from Oman Street. Mike from Broken Lead Woodworks. I don't know why you have me reading these things. I'm clearly not qualified. Dave Wirt from Rustic Joy, which I don't know why he picked that account name, but he's a cheerful guy. My mom, Elise Gelman. Tim from Turgworks, the voice behind the show. Dave the Thriller Miller from D Miller Designs. If you're looking for a Miller, you might as well go with D Miller. And Billy Estes from Simple Wood Co. You get complicated a little bit, Billy. So Yeah. Oh, and yeah. So Kyle's one of my shout outs this week. And then the other shout out this week is your boy and mine, Ryder from Ryder's Custom Creations. That dude sent me this mallet this week, and it's so nice. Like, I almost don't want to even bring it into my shop.
Yeah, I wouldn't surprise. It would look good in your shop, in your office, right there, like hanging under Maryland, or you could hang them on the wall. I mean, I think I like to think it would look good next to my mallet in your shop.
It would.
But just, they're both rainbow themed. Both
dude,
have a little touch of Ryder in them.
Brass inlay in there, dude.
I know. Believe me, dude. I remember when he was making it for the mallet challenge, and originally, and because I was doing brass at the time for mine, and he was like, "Dude, I'm going to use brass also, but I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing." And he surprised me on that one, man. It's gorgeous.
He's a gorgeous man.
Yeah. He is. All right, my shout out this week goes to our friend Garit from CW_woodworking. If you don't know Garit, you need to give this guy a follow. He's just a hell of a guy. He's always there with great advice, and he's always there to help people get going. He makes cutting boards, like a crap ton of cutting boards, and he's got one of the best beards on Instagram. So that's my shout out for this week.
Take that personally, Dave. Anyways,
I said one of the best. I didn't say the best. I said one of the best. But yeah, so Garit, thank you for being you, man. Appreciate it. And go check him out, CW Woodworking. And yeah, that's our shout outs for the week. And you already did the Patreon, so the only thing we got left to talk about is our reviews of the week. I'm gonna do a little sounder for that.
We have a review.
We have a review. You guys, speaking of reviews, if you guys want to give us a review on Apple or Spotify, we'd really appreciate that. On Spotify, give us 5 stars reviews.
I forgot a Patreon. I forgot one. Actually, it's a non-Patreon. Trevor Davies is still not a Patreon.
Oh, that's right. Trevor Davies. Thanks, Trevor.
Thanks for nothing, Trevor. Anyone wants his home number or phone number or address, just DM me and I'll give it to you.
Oh, God, man. I love that we bust his balls. But yeah, anyways, if you guys want to leave us a review, 5-star reviews on Spotify, that's the only thing that they allow for some reason. So just do the 5 stars. And then also Apple, if you guys give us an Apple review, if you write us a review, we will read it live on the podcast, like today from our man Lee at Regal Street. And that's why we're both repping Lee's hat this week, because he gave us a review.
Wait, your hat's
the
same as mine?
Yeah, I think so.
Sorry. Yeah. Keep going. I was totally listening.
So relatable is the title of this. 5 stars. One of the most relatable shows I listen to. I love listening to Ben and Luke's stories of balancing life as a maker and a parent. So yeah, dude, thanks, Lee.
What are the other relatable shows he listens to? Did he mention that?
I don't know.
In the review?
No, but we are the most relatable. So that's all that matters.
All right. Okay. I think Elvis is trying to save us from the Amazon guy right now. Can you hear him?
I do.
It's with a fucking closed door and he's downstairs. This fucking dog.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for sending the reviews. Anytime you guys do, we'll read them on here. Thanks again to our Patreons. If you want to be a Patreon, at the end of the episode, go down to the show notes, click on the link in the show notes, and it'll take you right over there, and you guys can sign right up to be a Patreon of this lovely podcast. And yeah, I don't know. You got anything else?
Take it away, Tim. Balls, balls, balls.
This has been a ConMan Creative production. Text us anytime at 908 768 2664 or send us a message on our Instagram, thejointery podcast. You can find Ben at Conderosa Creations or Luke at Luke in the Garage, everywhere that social media is sold. That's garage, not garage. Say it properly.